Hi Femi, so
Hello.
how are you today?
I'm very well.
Great. So you've been in loads of teenage favourites, including Kidulthood and Adulthood.
I love that, teenage favourites. That's
Love
a good way to
But what have you really been doing since filming them?
I've been uni. I've been set up my own production company. I've done so many. I've had children. Got married. You know, that's important. You laugh, but that's probably more important than all these other things because I think I was talking to my friend the other day about she just come back from France, and she was talking about the fact that in France people don't talk about work as much. People are more focused on life. The fact that I've had children, got married, and all of these things is just as important as, you know, making films and being in them.
So you went to uni, didn't you? What did you study there?
Law.
Law.
I studied law. Yeah,
cool.
It was fun actually. Studied law at the London School of Economics, and I think again that's opened up a lot of opportunities for me in life as a filmmaker, as an actor, because, you know, people respect you a little bit more.
What was it like to actually be in charge of something rather than be acting in it?
It was tough. Well, it's a lot. I acted in, I had the biggest role in it, and I was like co-producer, and that was really tough. But then luckily I had a producer to support me on that, so it wasn't as hard.
Yeah.
And but the last film I just did called The Intent, that was big. That was we had a big cast. We had some famous names to young people. So we had Scorcher, we had Crepton Conan, we had Fecky, we had a bunch of these guys that, like, you know, in rap and acting, trying to get into acting. We had a guy called Dylan Duffers from a film called One Day, which was based in Birmingham. Came out a few years ago. People loved that film. I'd only seen it recently. And then we had a big cast, you know. We had like so many different people, so it was really hard to control these people. And at the same time it was hard for me because I'm one of them, right? So it was very hard to at times shout at them, which I had to sometimes, which was made, you know, our relationships a little bit uncomfortable at times. But yeah, it was a good experience, and I think I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Okay, so as you said, you had a lot to do. Was it actually easy to get it all started, or did you need to like get a lot of help and do a lot of research?
Do you know what? To be honest, my friend wrote the script, but I had to edit it, so I had to rewrite the whole script again from scratch because he'd used the wrong writing software, and so I had to rewrite the whole script from scratch. I added to it, changed it up a little bit, and then from there I did the schedule, I did the budget with my first AD. So like, you have people that do all these jobs, like, you know, it's people's jobs, but then I'm very hands-on. I'm not one of those producers that just says, oh, go and do it. You know, I'm very hands-on. I sit with people, and like I sit in on the edit with people. I do all of these things. I sit down and I make sure people are doing things right, and if they need my support, I make sure I give them that support. So it was very intense for me. Like, you know, I put on weight during that period.
Really?
Like literally, like I was so tired and stressed and not getting that much sleep. But you know, we've done it now at the editing stage, so it's coming together. I can't complain.
Brilliant, that sounds great. What tips would you give to young aspiring film directors out there?
I would say just do it. Like, you know, make short films, direct music videos, shoot documentaries. Like, even if you don't have people around you that act or do any of these things, shoot documentaries. You can shoot a documentary on your family life. All you need to do that is your family. Like, do you know what I mean? And so, like, you know, get your camera and shoot stuff. Like, and you know, if you can, look into doing some photography, because film is basically lots of pictures. You know, so like, if you can become a really good photographer, you can easily translate that into directing and cinematography, because pictures are a good basis for directing, you know, because each frame in a film, every single image should be a picture, and if you look at it like that, then you know you should, you know, get some photography skills. Like, these are things that I didn't do, but I would advise. And you know, if you can find a way to marry like photography, graphic design, and actually filming stuff, like, you'd be really good by the time you're my age, and I'm ancient now, as it goes.
You've mentioned already that it's quite different to what you've usually done, and like, I remember watching Otherhood, your character was like so comical and hilarious, and like your other films you've been more serious. So the role you played now, was it completely different to the one you played?
The role is more serious. It's a serious film, it's not comedy. There's no like real it's a drama, so it's not doesn't really have any moments of. It has a few jokes, but not really that much. So, and my character in it's called Mitch. The character is a lot more. He's more grown up. I think it's important for me as an actor to start, playing more grown up characters. Because I play all these young people, and it's time for the young actors to step in and fill that void, and it's time for me to show my growth and play different characters. I suppose I'm in a different space, and I can draw from a lot of different things in my life now that I couldn't a few years ago. So I think definitely he's more grown up. Like he's got a daughter, he's got his own place. So yeah, it's just a lot different.
So would you say your own personal life, kind of growing up, and as you said, having kids and stuff, kind of inspired that role?
Not really, but it informs it. It informs. Like you draw from your experiences. Like your creativity, it sometimes is capped by your experiences or your imagination. So that you're the more you're exposed to, the more imaginative you become as a person. So I suppose I was able to draw my real life and my experiences to play that role. And I do for every role, to be honest, but it's not always just you though, because I'm a boring person. I'm quite a serious person, but people think I'm this really hilarious guy. But I'm not really that funny. In real life, I'm quite a serious. I like to think of myself as a serious person, but really I'm just a joke. And I'm just
Have you thought about whether your film actually wants to give out a message to people, or is it just for entertainment?
No, you know what? It's a lot. My first film, it's still out on DVD and Blu-ray and everything by it. It's on Netflix actually. I was on Netflix yesterday and I saw my film. I thought that was quite cool.
That's what I mean, that'll be exciting, right?
That was quite cool. My missus wanted to watch it, but I was like, well, but I've seen it a million times, so I don't need to watch it. But she's like, oh well, it's different on Netflix. No, it's not. But yeah, that was quite cool. It's a lot. It's got a massive message. It's about legacy. It's about what you pass on to the next generation. Is about looking after your community. So it's got massive. It's a message-driven film. It's got a moral to the story. However, the intent has got a message, but I suppose that message is not as clear cut as it's a lot. It's a lot if you watch it for the whole 90 minutes. You sit there, you'll be like, I got the message, and I understood what that was about, and I got what I need to do. Some people cried coming out of the cinema, even though it was it was a comedy, but I would say it was a comedy drama. And so I think it's a lot definitely has a message. Whereas the intent has got a message, but the message is more it's more you have to seek it out. You have to seek out the message. There's no you don't benefit from crime, and even it shows. I suppose it's good for the police actually, that film, because it shows that the extent that the police go to bring people to justice, and also it shows the different paths, the different ways that people react to tragedy. My character in it goes off in a completely different path to his friends, and so you can seek out a message, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a message-driven film in the same way that It's a Lot was. So you have different films. For me, this is what I keep saying to people. I can't keep doing films like It's a Lot all the time, and I can't keep doing films like Another Hood all the time, because otherwise it becomes stale. I become bored. My creativity never gets pushed. So for me, I suppose the intent is more entertainment, and it's more it's more fun. It's more about the fight scenes. It's more about the shootouts. It's more about the girls and and cars and nice houses and stuff like that, as opposed to anything else that I've done. And I suppose the intent is more grown up as well. It's not, the guys in it are not pretending to be teenagers. They're not teenagers. They're more grown up. So so it's different. You can seek out a message in it, but I think it's more entertaining than anything.
Okay, so it's a bit of both, really. Okay, so you've just mentioned a lot of big names. So what's the actual film? What's it about?
The film's actually really interesting. Well, I said to my friend that I will never make one of these films, but then there was an interesting twist on it. So the film's a bit like a American classic called Juice, which a lot of people my generation grew up watching, which is an American film with Tupac. It was Tupac's first film. It was even before he became a famous rapper, so to speak. So like, and it's based on Juice, a film called In Too Deep with Omar Epps, and a film called Belly, and you know, and it was based on these sort of crime films. But like the thing with this film, it's basically about a police officer.
Okay.
But you don't know he's a police officer. You're watching a film, you don't know he's a police officer. It's about a police officer who infiltrates a gang of boys who are robbing post offices, and his job is to try to bring them down. But for like 50% of the movie, the audience are watching, not knowing that this guy is actually a police officer. They assume that he's one of the young the criminals in the film. It's really nice. It's a really nice film. I play a small character in it called Mitch, and I don't want to give too much away. But yeah, it's a good. I play a really nice character. It was a nice different character for me, and also. But very small, because I was producing it, so I couldn't really act in it. But my main thing is that, you know, when I'm producing things, I don't necessarily want to be in these films, but then you think to yourself, like, you know, if you're an actor, you have to act, and I love acting, that's my passion. So every opportunity that I get to do it in a meaningful way, I do.
It's been great chatting to you and meeting you.
Thank you.
But before you go,
yes,
what do you want to say to your viewers to make them watch your film?
The intent. It's got stars, it's got cars, it's got... That's joking. No, it's got stars, it's got cars, it's got pretty girls and good looking guys, and I'm in it. I'm just joking, the intent. It's out later on this year, early next year, so like you're getting a massive scoop, because like it's the first in-depth conversation I've had about it, so yeah. But yeah, it's a lot, it's still out on DVD and Blu-ray and Netflix and wherever you want, Amazon. So yeah, support that if you can. Thank you very much. God bless you. Peace.